Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about writing and solving linear equations. Sorry for the no intro video today, but there's a lot to go through with this one, so I want to make sure I had plenty of time to go through it. So we are going to jump right into solving some of these problems, okay? Real important to point out, though, are these two important forms. Standard form, ax plus by equals c, and slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is your y-intercept. These two forms, if I'm not mistaken, are on your equation sheet. So you will have an equation sheet when you take a look at your Keystone, formula sheet rather. So just make sure you know the difference between the two of them, which again, you're just writing them like we see here, getting y by itself, and here we're just getting x and y on the same side. Important thing to point out that a must be positive. All right, just to take a look at a few of these, okay, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of them. Try and hit what I can. Number one, it says rewrite the equation so that y is a function of x. That means get y by itself. Okay? So for the first one, all I'm simply doing is trying to move the 2x to the other side. Okay? Subtract 2x, y equals negative 2x plus 5. You're probably wondering why I didn't put 2x, the minus 2x on the other side of the 5. Well, I want it in the form of y equals mx plus b. That allows us to work with it via graphing calculator. That allows us to do a lot of different things. It puts it in their slope-intercept form. Negative 2 is my slope now. 5 is my y-intercept. Let me show you one more here, number 2. Okay, you can multiply the 3 in, distribute it rather, and we get 3x minus 6y equals negative 12x minus 24y. And my goal here is to get all the y's on one side. So I'm going to add 24y over, which gets me 3x plus 18y equals negative 12x, like so. I can now subtract 3x over. So I get 18y equals negative 15x. And I'm trying to get y by itself, so I have one last step. Divide both sides by 18. Y equals negative 15x over 18. You always want to reduce. Divide top and bottom by 3. Negative 5/6x. There we go. Okay. You may try out the rest of these, and then of course you can check your answers in the front of the room. But good stuff. Okay. Again, it's just you're just getting y by itself. So to solve linear equation, it becomes a game of using inverse operations. So here are our operations: addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, squaring a number. The inverse is the opposite. Addition, the opposite of that is subtraction. Multiplication, the opposite is division. Subtraction, my inverse is addition. Division, of course, will then be multiplication. Lastly, when I'm squaring a number, the opposite or the inverse operation is to square root a number. Okay? So we're going to use that to help us on the back. Okay, so as again mentioned, I'm going to jump around. I'm going to do a few here and there. I'll try and hit one of each type, and then you may try out the ones that we have not hit. So number 7, please note that we have, let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit, maybe, if it works. Okay, so 9 minus the quantity x plus 3 equals 19. Sweet. Now I can distribute that minus sign in. So 9 minus x minus 3 equals 19. See how 9 minus 3 are on the same side? So I get negative x plus 6. Okay. I'm just simplifying that down. Subtract the 6 over. Negative x equals 13. Divide both sides by negative 1. Okay, x equals negative 13. Because you want to try and get your variable itself. Like it says up top here, solve the following equation, and we're going to simplify first when possible. Okay, number 8. When you have two fractions equaling to one another, hopefully you guys recall something called the cross multiplication method. All right, it's when I can do, it's like a little x right here. Okay, x times 6 is 6x. 3 times 1 is 3, and I can divide both sides by 6. Now, always want to reduce things down. Just to give you guys a little heads up. Okay, again, I'm trying to show you guys as many calculator tricks as possible. if I have 3 divided by 6, we get 0.5. You can hit this math button, which is right below alpha. The very first thing says fraction. Hit enter, enter, 1 over 2. Okay, so this reduces down to 1 over 2. Okay, let's try out number 9. I can distribute the negative 4 in. Notice a lot of distributing. You have to multiply throughout all of your parentheses beside it. I get 8a plus 20a plus 8 equals 12a. Okay, combine like terms. 8a and 20a is 28a. Subtract 28a over. 8 equals negative 16a. And lastly, divide everything by negative 16. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this one down a while. Negative 1/2. Okay. Alright, I am going to jump around just a bit. Okay. So I'm going to come over here, number 10. Yeah, jump around right to the next one. What's the opposite of dividing by negative 4? The opposite of dividing is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 4 here. That actually cancels out that negative 4 in the denominator. And on the right, I get negative 20. Okay. And you can actually, the nice thing about all these problems too is, ladies and gentlemen, you are allowed to take as much time as you would like on this keystone. So if you find these answers for equations like this, plug your answers back in, see if they make sense. For example, negative 20 divided by negative 4 gets you positive 5. Wouldn't you know it? I'm good. Like, we rock. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Number 12, a bit different. See how it's a fraction in front of a? I can multiply both sides by the reciprocal of that. So the reciprocal of negative 3/4 is negative 4/3. That cancels this out. Over here I get negative 4/3 times negative 15. Now, you can go ahead and do this. It's not that difficult. Negative 15, man, I don't know why it does that. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5, times negative 4 is 20. So a equals 20, no big deal. If that scares the life out of you, which if it does, it does, you can come here and do parentheses, negative 4 divided by 3 times negative 15. There's your answer, 20. I'd love for you guys to do that mentally, but if you need that little extra help, by all means. Do you guys recall what this is right here? These little brackets, or these bars rather. Hopefully that remembers you. You can recall it as absolute value. So the absolute value of negative 11 is positive 11. Add the 2 over. X equals 13. Okay? Alright. I am going to jump down here now a little bit, just because to save a little bit of time. So it says here, tables can be used to write linear equations if the slope is constant. So it says, first, rewrite ordered pair in increasing order. Okay, so you see how here it goes 2, 5, 6, 3, 4, 4, 8, 2. These are all ordered pairs, like an X and a Y. They rewrote it as 2, 5, 4, 4, 6, 3, 8, 2. Okay, so what they did was they put X from smallest to greatest. Alright, and that allows you to analyze a little bit more by, see if the change in X is constant, do the same for Y. So as X goes up 2, Y goes down 1. As X goes up 2, from 4 to 6, Y is going down 1. So here we see the change is constant. Next, plug in slope in one point in the point slope formula. Okay, so in this case, we could use this formula. Okay, so you pick 2 points. Here's x1, y1, x2, y2. Y2 minus y1, 4 minus 5. 4 minus 2, negative 1/2. There's my slope, which you can then do. Point slope formula is just y equals mx plus b. And then solve for y to get your equation. So let's take a look at one of these together to see if it makes sense. Alright, now down here, okay, the one thing to point out to you guys is this. It says use the following tables to write a linear equation for each table if possible. You see how at input, output, t, f of t, x, y, these are all different ways they can rewrite an x, y table. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the first one. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pick 2 points. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and figure out what my change is, or what my slope is. So my slope for the first one, I'm running out of room here, but I'm going to call the first point 1, negative 5, and the second point 0, negative 2. So m equals negative 2 minus negative 5, y2 minus y1, divided by x2 minus x1, 0 minus 1. Negative 2 minus negative 5 becomes negative 2 plus 5, which is 3, over negative 1, so my slope is negative 3. So here's your formula, y equals mx plus b. Okay? And what we have here is we can say my slope is negative 1, so I'm going to pick a point. Let's go with this one, 0, negative 2. I'm going to plug negative 2 in for y, negative 1 in for m, and then 0 in for x, plus b. These cancel out. My b is negative 2. Once you have your slope and your y-intercept, you have everything you need to make your equation. So lastly, y equals negative 1x minus 2 is my final equation for this problem. Okay? Which also, just a heads up, it should make sense because every time that your x is 0, the corresponding y value will be your output, or sorry, your y-intercept. So that makes sense, that's negative 2 there. But this is all we're doing for all of these. So I'd like you guys to try these ones out. Solve for your slope, plug it back in. You can use y equals mx plus b, which is your slope intercept, or you could use point slope formula, which is this. Either way is you'll be fine. I just have a tendency to always do y equals mx plus b because it's just something that I personally feel is easier. If you do it this way with point slope formula, you actually don't have to solve for b. It will just kind of work itself out. You just have to distribute your slope in. But either way would be fine. Either way will get you the correct answer. So give us a go. Feel free to ask questions if need be, and check with your answer key at the front of the room. And as always, good luck. We're all counting on you.